Hi guys, Chef Fu here today, Sunday, on a lazy Sunday afternoon dinner time. Today I'm going to demonstrate one favorite dish. It's going to be sort of like a lmein dish, but using wide noodles made out of wheat. And it's very easy to do. I just encourage you to follow the cooking instructions for the noodles. Obviously every noodle is different. And after you rinse it to prevent further cooking, just add some oil to it so it doesn't stick together. That's the true secret. In restaurants, they use a lot of oil so that they want to try to avoid the sticking process. Okay? So today we're outside with my new propane stove outdoors. You would probably see this on a lot of the cooking channels in the Far East where they don't have designated electrical stoves or gas grills. They have these little gas burners on the side of the street. So I love working with gas, and this is part of the process of cooking delicious meals. All right, now I'm going to focus in on the flame, and basically just listen to what I have to say. Okay, so basically here it is. And what we're going to do here is get the stove hot. I'm going to add some canola oil. I say around 3 tablespoons. Now what we have here are onions, and we'll throw the onions in. We're using fresh ginger. It's taking a little longer. We're going to start sauteing it. We want to get the onions soft, translucent. We have the fresh garlic and fresh ginger that's been smashed and sliced. Now we want to add the roast pork. And the roast pork, I basically cut into small slices. And we'll let this saute for a little bit. Get the flavor of the ginger and the garlic together with the onion. Now the sauces is just quickly putting all the sauces together and then throwing the noodles in last. We have already sliced up scallion, some fresh bean sprout, some Napa cabbage, but it's important that you cook the noodles first. You want to get that flavor instilled in the roast pork, the onions, the ginger, and the garlic. Okay, so now we'll add the noodles. And then we'll slowly saute it. Now we'll add the sauce. So we use a little soy sauce. About a quarter cup. A little oyster sauce. Some shao wine. Drizzle. Some sriracha. And we'll add a little dark soy sauce for a little coloring. Now we'll just saute it. And we'll add a little sugar. Just keep on sauteing it. You don't want to over saute it because the noodles are already cooked already. If they get overcooked, then they'll start breaking up. Okay. Now we'll add the bean sprout, napa cabbage, and the chopped up scallop. Vegetables usually go in last because they cook the fastest. Just keep on sauteing it. The heat will cook the vegetables. So we'll add a little bit more coloring. A little bit more oyster sauce. And some shao wine. This is roast pork, lmein with wide noodles. Just keep on sauteing. So I had to get a little used to this propane tank grill, but I'll explain it to you after I cook the meal. Here it is. Here you go. Chef Wukan's version of lmein with wide noodles made out of wheat noodles. So basically, that was the first time I'm using my propane tank grill. So obviously, trial and error. It was a little hot on the handle, so I had to get a little rag to hold it. I'm still getting used to it in terms of setting the flame, but basically, in essence, you boil the noodles according to the directions. You stop the cooking process with the noodles by running it under cold water, which stops the cooking process. You rinse it thoroughly, let it drain very well, let it get well drained, set it aside. Then add some oil to prevent it from sticking. Usually in the restaurants, some of them have fresh noodles, some of them have prepackaged noodles, but in any event, it still will stick together. So in moderation, everything in moderation, you can have the lmein, but remember that they have to use a lot of oil to keep it separated. All right? So you have the noodles, you set it aside. Right? It's not going to stick. And this is a beautiful batch of noodles that I did, and it didn't stick at all. It was great, and it didn't break. Now you just add some sauce to the wok. If you have a non-stick pan, make sure it's on medium because you don't want to ruin the coating. Then you add your fresh ginger and fresh garlic. I prefer that. Obviously, you can use garlic powder or powdered ginger, but there's nothing like the real thing, right? And basically with the garlic, you smash it and mince it. With the ginger, you use a potato peeler to peel the skin, and then you slice it in slivers, okay? Set that aside. Then you have all types of vegetables. I use Napa cabbage. I used scallion. I had fresh bean sprouts. And then you take the roast pork. Now the roast pork is already marinated, so you're just basically cutting up into nice morsels of meat. You can use chicken, shredded chicken, or leftover beef, right? Just cut it up very thinly, all right? And then basically you heat up the wok or the pan, add the canola oil, then you add a little bit of the garlic and the ginger and let it fuse with the oil. Then you add the roast pork to heat it up a little bit. Then you basically add the onions if you want. Onions, I use onions because we love onions here. And you saute it until the onions are basically translucent. Then you add the noodles. And you saute everything with the noodles, right? Then the last thing, you add the Napa cabbage, then you add the bean sprouts, and then you add the scallions. And the scallions are already chopped, right? Saute it, right? Now we add the soy sauce. Now, depending on what you like and based on the taste, you add more or less soy sauce. I use about a quarter cup. Then you use some shao shing wine, give it a little wine taste. Then a little oyster sauce, even portions with the soy sauce, right? That gives it another flavor dimension. Then basically a little sugar, because you have the soy sauce and oyster sauce, which are kind of salty, so you want to offset it with a sweet, which is the sugar. So you saute it, and the heat's going to cook it the way the wok is designed. All the heat is centralized in the bottom, so you just keep on shifting the food circular way and let it get stir fried, and everything gets evenly cooked. Then eventually the bean sprouts and that cabbage will be cooked, and that's what you want, and it's all ready. Well, for the first time, I'm kind of proud of my dish. So basically, this is how you do it. And this is with my new portable outdoor propane grill. And the propane grill, if you go to Southeast Asia, and many of you probably have, you probably saw the street vendors on the street, and they have similar contraptions like this, because they don't have the convenience of a stove inside or in a restaurant. They make their money outside. And there's a very famous woman in Thailand that she has this, and she works 12 hours a day over the stove. So I can imagine how much heat is generated. So you don't know until you do it. So this is what they do for a living. This is what they make. It's fresh and it's delicious. So hold on one second. I forgot one thing. And the most important thing is, like, you got to try it. Chef Boo has to try it. And cheers to you on a beautiful Sunday, hot weekend. All right, so I'm gonna taste it. Delicious. A little bit of scallion. A little bit of scallion roast pork and noodle. Now, I gotta tell you that I add a little sriracha. You could do it with it or without it. Instead of sugar, you could put hoisin sauce in. So you can always interchange different sauces as long as you have a salty and a sweet. Okay? The noodles are excellent. They didn't break up. So the way I prepared it was perfect. Just follow the directions on the package. Rinse it on the cold water to stop the cooking. Drain it well. Add some oil to it. Use your hands. Saute it with a little bit of the oil. That will prevent sticking. And it's all ready. So you have any questions, let me know. And most importantly, and I do appreciate you guys that subscribe to my site. Tell your friends about me. I'm not a professional, obviously, in terms of video, but I try to get my point across, and I try to speak really clearly in terms of how things are done step by step. There's a methodical way of doing things when it comes to cooking. But if you enjoy what you see here, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up for a good view. And if you are interested in a spicy condiment relish oil, go to Chef Buchan collection.etsy.com. I would have a crunchy garlic chili oil relish that you can apply to anything that you make, hamburgers, pizzas, chicken, whatever. Or I also have spicy honey. Apply that to your chicken, and it's delicious. So think about it. Summertime's here, barbecues. So you want this something different than just the typical barbecue sauce. You know, try these condiments. You don't need much. It's very hot and spicy, guaranteed. And you get a little crunchy garlic flavor, as well as with a little dash of cinnamon, some Szechuan peppers, and obviously chili powder and flakes. All right, so I appreciate it. I want you guys to have a great next week, right? And if you have any questions, let me know. But please subscribe. I always appreciate it. I'm very grateful for it. And give me a thumbs up. It always helps. All right? So thank you very much. If Chef Wu can, you can too. Thank you.